No other artists of their day were as adept as this duo at blending jazz, soul, and pop. They created their own hybrid of instrumental music in the 60s and 70s, and it sure paid off. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Young-Holt Unlimited. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to be sure you won't miss on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. In the early 1950s, Chicago jazzmen Isaac Red Holt, L.D. Young, and Ramsey Lewis forged a deep friendship while performing with the Clefs, a 7-member group that was regularly hired for dances on the west side of the Windy City. This is where this story begins. Holt wasn't with the group when it broke up, having been drafted by the Army near the close of the Korean War in 1953. Pianist Lewis and bassist Young put together the Ramsey Lewis Trio with drummer Butch McCann, who basically held Holt's place until he completed his service. In 1956, with Red back and several months of club appearances under their belts, the group was signed by Chess Records and began working on an album. Ramsey Lewis and his Gentlemen of Swing was released in 1957 under the company's Argo label. When the trio's breakthrough pop hit, the In Crowd was released. Young and Holt decided to establish their own group after having served as Lewis rhythm section for a decade. LD and Red purposely constructed the Young-Holt Trio under the same kind of setup they were comfortable with. Seer Don Walker, an impressive piano man from nearby Evanston, Illinois, was essentially hired to take the Ramsey Lewis role. They were picked up by Brunswick Records and placed in the hands of Carl Davis, the highly successful Chicago producer who'd been important to the success of soul singers Gene Chandler, Major Lance, Walter Jackson, and others. From the first song, Whack Whack, an addictive instrumental with the title Squawk repeated numerous times, debuted on radio in late 1966 and peaked at number 20 in R&B and 40 and mainstream in January 1967. The follow-up single, Ain't There Something That Money Can't Buy, is a live recording that has the vocals of the trio placed against an instrumental groove. The trio's third single was the first under the name Young-Holt Unlimited. Davis spearheaded an expansion of varying session players, for the most part the same crew heard on hits by Gene Chandler, The Artistics, and Jackie Wilson, thus justifying the new name, although Young-Holt and Walker often still performed in clubs as a small combo. Regardless, 1967 and 68 singles like Doing the Thing, and Give It Up retained the established jazz formula. Walker left the trio around this time to do his own solo thing. Walker departed trio at this time to pursue his own solo project, which resulted in 2 volumes of progressive electric piano compositions titled Complete Expressions. Barbara Acklin, a soul singer who had begun her career at Brunswick as a songwriter, had achieved success with the song Love Makes a Woman the summer before, and she was currently in the process of recording Am I the Same Girl? Davis felt the completed backing track, a big brass number by the Brunswick Session Band, could be a hit strictly as an instrumental. Floyd Morris played piano where Barbara's vocals would go. Although the actual Young-Holt group was rumored not to have even played on the track, it went all the way to number 3 in 1969, driven by a bright, indelible horn riff. In 1970, the 3 departed Brunswick for Cotillion Records, reclaiming the artistic freedom that had been lost in the aftermath of their million-selling success. Young-Holt Unlimited received a Grammy nomination in 1973 for Best Rhythm and Blues Instrumental Performance. Attempts to replicate its popularity were unsuccessful, and while Young-Holt Unlimited remained a popular concert draw on both the R&B and jazz circuits, their recording career was on a decline. They produced albums for Atlantic and Paula labels that failed to rekindle their financial success. The group disbanded in 1974. Young and Holt met with Lewis in 1983, and the three friends briefly relived the joy of their early years together. The band has been sampled more than 200 times, with the majority of them falling within the hip-hop genre. LD Young passed away after a heart attack on February 12, 2007 at the age of 71. Isaac Holt passed away on May 23, 2023, 1 week after his 91st birthday. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from Young-Holt Unlimited?